This is about my 1250 milligram DPH trip. This takes place at my apartment whenever I was just getting out of foster care. I had already knew that I was gonna want to do it for that night, so I had walked 3 miles to the King's Market, just a gas station, to just buy 100 pack of Benadryl. They tried to card me, but I still got it, so I was 18 at the time. And I decided to take 25 there, and by the time I got home, I would take 25 more. So it's about it's a pretty good walk. So I was just taking a few at a time, stopping every once in a while to take a break, because I didn't want to get too into it, because you never know with that stuff. I remember whenever it first started to kick in, about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in, I was feeling some chest pressure, and I was also feeling kind of heavy. Felt like I weighed a lot more than I usually did, and I was feeling a little bit tired and sleepy and drowsy. And about the time I got back to my apartment, I was staggering. But whenever I got in there, I decided to take the 25 more. And I was like, and I knew I was pretty sure I was gonna be okay. I was trying to put my key in the door. It was so hard to get my key in the door. It was like, I had to try like so many times to get it in. But I finally got it in. I swear they probably were looking at me, probably thinking I was a tweaker or something. But I got in my apartment, took the pills, and just sat on my couch and waited for it to happen. And I was just watching a little bit of YouTube, just some YouTube videos, and I would focus on the background of the videos, and I would just kept up catching myself getting caught in just staring at random things in the background of the video, and then I started to see the air thicken, and it was like static. It was pretty interesting, like any normal DPH trip. But this had came on really, really quick. So by the time I had gotten home, it would have been like an hour, or I don't know. And I was already getting that wave from the first pills, so whenever I took the second, and 30 minutes later, I was really tripping. Started to not even look at the TV anymore. I was just like looking over to the walls. I don't know, I just kept on finding myself looking and staring off and forgetting to blink. And then I would get back into it, and I would just, yeah. Sometimes I would see things, and then I'd have to blink to not see them again. I'd see things flying around the room, like bugs and stuff like that, which is pretty normal, usually, on hired trips. This would be the first time I ever seen a DPH ghost. That's the inspiration for my channel and my name, I guess. And it was just like a dark apparition just going across the wall. It looked like it had like a cloak almost. It was I wasn't afraid. It just all seemed too real in the moment. Like, I just seemed too normal. Like, if I would have seen that and I was like sober, it probably would have been way different. But it's different on DPH. Like, you just don't even think anything of it. Like, I've seen so many different things on it. I've seen like full people, like the air morph into full people. I've seen like people just walk around the room. I've heard like voices. At this point, I was starting to hear some voices in my ear, and they would get like, the more and more you would try to find out, like listen and try to figure out what they were saying, the more and more you would get into the trip, and it would just like engulf you and just grab you into it. So like, I just tried to like not focus on it and just focus on something else. That's why I usually listen to music. I always have headphones on. Because like the music enhancements are pretty good. Yeah, but I always get that chest feeling, and then it almost feels like I can't breathe for a second, and then I always know that I'm gonna be fine, but you just have to like mind over matter with that stuff. But anyways, whenever I had the first thing that like really tripped me out was I was sitting in my I was just sitting in my bed, right? I had gotten up from the couch. I came in to my bedroom and I was just sitting there, and I was just laying there, right? And I was just like thinking with my eyes closed, and all of a sudden I just had this really weird feeling, and I opened up my eyes and I was still in the living room. I had never even left the living room at all. I was still there. I never walked into the bedroom at all. And it all felt like it actually happened. So that was really freaking me out. And I started to hear like voices of like people from my past. People like I couldn't even like differ. Like couldn't even like really like tell who it was, but I knew that like they just sounded familiar. Like they just say things that like don't really make any sense usually. I usually don't really try to make out what they're saying. Eventually you start seeing all this smoke in the air, and that's whenever it's really starting to come up. I was looking around and I was just seeing all these trails of smoke everywhere, and then I stopped and I looked, and there was this thing morphing out of the wall. It was like, looked like a hand. It was just like coming out, reached out, and it went right through me, and it felt weird. It was like an odd feeling. I didn't feel it touch me, but like it felt like something had changed in the air in the room. So I just actually got up this time for real and went into my bedroom. I sat in there for a while. I kept on getting that shaky feeling and couldn't stop shaking. You know, I would just hear knocks everywhere. It was pretty bad on this one. I couldn't ever stop myself from shaking or my jaw clenching. It's really hard to talk to on DPH. So I laid there in bed, just listening to music, smoking a bunch of cigarettes. I ended up smoking a lot of cigarettes on DPH anyway. And eventually, I did fall asleep, but I had like really weird dreams. They were really crazy while they were happening, but they were really hard to remember. But the day after, it felt like I had just taken like 300 milligrams or something like that. And it was like slowly fading out. I still could feel some of the effects later that day, but most of it was gone by that point. Anyways, if you enjoyed that video, leave a like, comment, talk about anything, memes, whatever. Join my Reddit, r/DPH_ghosts. Stay healthy. Think, and have a good rest of your evening.